Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then for another match preview on the channel with Jack and Dan, and here we go again. Leicester, big win in midweek. Can they top the week off with another win and give us a bit more stead of staying up in the Championship? Well, we're going to discuss everything regarding Leicester City and Queen's Park Rangers. Obviously, no Marty Cifuentes this time round, so we can't call it the Marty Cifuentes derby. Leicester going to this game on the win. QPR, yeah, not so much. They seem to be struggling in the league at the minute. And 9 points split these two sides going into this weekend. And yeah, this one is another big game. And yes, about who will also play. We're also going to look at QPR's form as well. Pick out a few key players. And yeah, so Dan, how are we?
All good. Rushed. Just up to drop my daughter off. She's getting ready to be in a show in the summer. So it starts with rehearsals. So hence why I'm sat in the car while she's in doing her stuff. And there you go. My commitment to you, Jack, and the final whistle fans that are still making.
So it's not the missus kicking him out, so don't worry. You know, he's not out on his own.
Yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not like Jordan, are you in the Leicester team in the summer? But anyway, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get involved. Let's see who's in the chat tonight. Phil, how are we? Hope you're good. Noob, how are we? Hope you're good, pal. Ray, evening, Jack. Looking forward to tomorrow. I think it will tell us a lot about our chances going forward. It's a must win. Paul, good evening as always. How are we? So, Dan, Leicester City versus Queen's Park Rangers, round 2. Hopefully we can get revenge, Dan, from that bloody piss poor performance last time we played them. We were 4-0 down last time we played them down at Loftus Road.
Yeah.
We've got to be far more better than we were last time we played them.
We most certainly do, mate. Yeah, we can't have that happen again. You know, not after Tuesday. You know,
evening, Mike.
I really hope they don't waste the opportunity that they've got at this moment in time.
Evening, Craig.
You know, the fans being on side. Like, again, you know what we said the other night. I've not felt the King Power sound as good and be, you know, up for it in the crowd as much as what it was on Tuesday. You know, again, wins always help that thing, and going 1-0 up fairly early on, again, always helps. It did rest the nerves and the little bit of unrest and unease from the side that was picked, but from there, you know, it was good to be in there for once.
It was. It's a bloody bad time we win, isn't it? You know, and then every time we think we win, we feel like we're back. And that's been the moral of the story with Leicester City this season. It's nice to win when we win, but we don't seem to be consistent enough when we do, and that's been our main problem this season.
Exactly.
QPR won't have the cheat code.
Yeah, well, that's it. Exactly. Jack, also, did you say QPR are only 9 points above us?
Yeah.
So potentially 6 after Saturday. So it's another team then, providing we win and win well, that we can get drawn into this over this next few games that I believe are quite winnable for us if we, you know, carry our momentum through from the draws and now the win. You know, if we keep going on, we'll soon start reeling a few more in and giving them a few more squeaky bums out there. So
Well, there's a fair few in the relegation battle again, aren't they?
There are, yeah.
You looked at the results the other night. Portsmouth losing, Blackburn losing, West Brom drew, Oxford won. So it brings Blackburn and Portsmouth back into the call. Obviously, Portsmouth are the ones with a game in hand, so they really need to get something out of that Ipswich game. But QPR after 37 games sit on 47 points. They sit 18th. Yeah. So if Leicester win, that puts us to 6 points from Queen's Park Rangers. I don't know if it's too much to say that QPR would be in a relegation battle. But 9 games left. QPR have got to win games. But
they're not winning.
Do you really see teams like Blackburn and teams like that really gaining a lot more points than Queen's Park Rangers over these next 9 games? I'd probably say no, to be honest.
No, that's it. Like I say, possibly not, but that's not our worry. Like I say, we've just got to keep getting closer to other teams and reeling them in and making them feel uneasy. We just concentrate on ourselves. What everybody else does, that's their issue. Ours is getting as many points on the board as we can now between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a interesting one. Let's take, before we actually discuss Leicester QPR. Let's talk about Leicester's win over Ipswich. Obviously, we discussed it the other night. What did you take out of the game? Because wait a minute, Jack. You said Leicester's win over Ipswich, or do you mean the draw over Ipswich, or do you mean the win over Bristol? Well, Leicester's win over Bristol City, and we had that.
We'll talk about that. That's right. I didn't know whether you wanted to talk about the other thing that came out today.
I'm thinking about that thing that come out today. That's what I'm thinking about.
I thought that might be the case.
Before we go on to Tuesday, what happened against Bristol City?
Yeah.
I want to discuss one piece. I want to discuss it briefly with you while Rich is in the chat. Hello, Rich, by the way. Another player out for you and all that. Anyway, let's discuss that. See, we didn't. Well, I seen it. I wasn't. Obviously, the referee had waved it on. I just thought it was more of a coming together with the two, and then you know what it's like. Players kick out and whatever, and you don't think nothing of it. To be honest, the referee had obviously seen nothing wrong with it at the time. The linesman were well in front of it, and if it was serious enough for what it was, the linesman maybe would have waved his flag at it, but he didn't. And it's now come out today that Leif Davis is banned for 3 games due to a violent conduct situation, which was the one with Caleb Okoli. Yeah. Leif Davis pulled Caleb Okoli's hair, and that is a red card in itself. I'll be honest, it's a penalty, but then Caleb Okoli lashes out afterwards and starts kicking him, and then he basically gets up Caleb Okoli and Leif Davis pushes him over. So it looked like a bit of handbags. But Leif Davis is now banned, and Leicester would feel hard done by, to be honest. But then the referee in that game and the officiating in that game for both sides, I thought was pretty shocking.
Pretty poor. That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly, Jack. Yeah, I mean, again, there is the 2 ways of looking at it. You might well say, again, I still don't believe that their dive at the end there with Hamza was a penalty. Others do. So they might say, well, it's evened itself out. But still for me, no, because he would have been sent off. I don't know what the assistant is looking at, because it's a corner. He should be looking directly into the box and watching what's going on along with the referee. So again, that's a bit of an odd one, especially to miss hair pulling. It might sound a little bit girly, but
it happened in the Wolves Everton game?
Yeah, it's happened a lot.
VAR would have had a look. I think VAR would have intervened, wouldn't he, in that?
100%.
Obviously in the Championship.
Yeah, that's it. So therefore, then they would have been down to 10 men. It would have been a penalty. So I can't remember the time of when the incident happened. That could have put us either 2-0 up or certainly 1-0 up.
I think it was the 27th minute. It was 0-0 at the time.
So 0-0. So okay, so we would have gone 1-0 up, and then who knows what would have happened from there. It is what it is. At the end of the day, somebody else is going to benefit from it, not us. So no surprise there. But like I say, it is what it is. It's just as well. It was seen. It's been dealt with, and that's as much as we can say. It's just more disappointing that we didn't gain any advantage from the incident during the game. So.
Yeah, it's the fine margins of football, isn't it? And everything happens in football, and because it's such a quick-paced game, you miss decisions like that. You can't keep up with everything, and maybe the referee potentially thought, well, if I ain't gave the Caleb Bacoli one, then I'm not going to give you the penalty at the end. So he's sort of
that's it. Yeah,
I ain't seen that one. Maybe I'll look like I ain't seen the one as well. So sort of make it an even game. And Ipswich fans didn't look. I mean, some Ipswich fans have commented on it. Yeah. Of course they have. They feel that Caleb Bacoli kicked out. Obviously, it's an air pull, and Caleb's kicked Leif Davis. It is. But it didn't get given, and we don't want to go on and cry about it or moan about it because it were 2 games to go. It's not going to change the decision in any shape or form now going forward. No. So we can't go back. No. Time,
that's it. Like I say,
time is not one of them where you can't go back on things. Exactly.
It's done. It's gone.
I just think it's been a real harsh week for Ipswich, to be honest, with the officiating and that. And QPR now banned after getting a yellow card for a penalty which I thought was soft for Stoke, but that's it, isn't it? It's just officiating it its finest, and the bloody EFL down with Leicester's had decisions in the past where it's gone against us, and you think, how the hell has that been?
At the end of the day, Jack, I would still 100% much rather have the referees referee the game, and they'll get some right, they'll get some wrong, rather than VAR. I cannot stand it. It's the biggest waste of time, money, effort, and everything else that goes with it. We all go to football to watch our team play well, win games, and score goals is the biggest thing of all. And when you have that taken away from you by somebody sat hundreds of miles away looking at a screen, and it's it's somebody else's opinion on something, that's just not what football is about and what it's made for. That's not what it's been brought to this earth for people to enjoy, and there's just too many people that I think feel that they are smarter than the game and need to put their 50 pence worth in to justify their reason why they're in a job. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the rule changes that they come out with. And
it's not football anymore, is it? It's just commercial and bloody money. It's all money.
That's it. It's all about money. It's all about
that's what it is. And it's ruined the game completely. The amount of decisions they change season upon season, and it's hard to keep up on it, isn't it? To be fair, now they've changed the goalkeeping thing where they can only keep the ball for 6 seconds. If they don't, then obviously it's a corner to the opposition, and it's just bloody tough, man. Just play the game the way it should be played.
Yeah, again, that's game management. The only one that I like, and I'm happy we now have, is goal line technology, because it's black and white.
We needed that when Lampard scored against Germany.
Yeah, that's it. Like I say, it's either in or it's not. There's no in between. Not like, as I say, whether somebody thinks that somebody's actually fouled somebody, or, whatever the reasons are, or a pull on a shirt, or how it's happened, sometimes even down to offsides. Can they actually tell exactly when that ball has been played, or is it just when it makes its first roll? So
it's a fair point.
Too much.
Anyway,
too much. Leave it to the officials.
Let's get on to Bristol City.
Yeah,
big win for Leicester.
Huge win.
a much better performance by the boys, and a team performance for 90 minutes. And I think that's the first time we've performed for 90 minutes this season, Dan, where we've not had any sort of wager where we're thinking, bloody hell, we're only a 45 minute side. Against Bristol City, we were a 90-minute side. We didn't look camped in our box. We looked far more attacking, far more. We looked like we had far more juice in the game, and we looked a lot more structured defensively, and we scored 2 good goals with Ben Nelson getting on the end of one with a header and Abdul Tawi scoring the other. But much needed win for Leicester. A clean sheet after 31 games in the league, and a much needed win that it's the first one we've got since January in the league.
That's the biggest shocker of all. Yes, the clean sheet issue was big, but not winning since January. That was getting a bit concerning, and hence why we're in the position that we're in. Again, you can say it's 6 points, but it's nothing to do with that. It's our form. The 6 points to me are not irrelevant, but they're not the reason why we're down there.
No.
So it was a huge win. It's good to get 3 points on the board. As you said, as the game grew on, the lads looked more confident. They wanted the ball that bit more, and looked more comfortable. And again, what was nice is when we did make changes, it actually made us stronger, as opposed to let's try him there and see what happens, and we don't actually keep our continuity going, and we lose a bit of shape and form, and we're a little bit all over the place. Those that came on knew what they were doing, knew their jobs, and went and carried us forward. And really, it was a little bit disappointing that we didn't get at least 2 goals, with Abdul and Steffi. So it could have been a lot more.
It's been a lot more structured though, Dan, in 100%. How Rowett had Leicester City the first time when he took over. He had to really rely on the youngsters to bring off the bench. He didn't really have much to choose from.
No.
You've got Winks back in there now. You got Jordan James. You've got a lot of players you can pick from now, and obviously Aaron Ramsey's back from injury. Yannick Vestergaard's back. Harry Suter's back as well. So
the long lost Harry Suter.
It's a good headache to have over a productive 9 fixtures now going forward.
That's it. Exactly. And that's what we need. It couldn't have come at a more critical and crucial time for us. Especially, like I say, with getting the win, being that bit more confident, having a better run of games from what we had when Rowett first come in. The majority of them at home, and if we can continue as a group of fans to still back the lads, regardless of whatever we think about those that are above, because at the minute we kind of have to make them irrelevant, but still make sure that they know that we're not happy with them, or for those that want to, but like I say, the most crucial thing is keeping the lads on side, keeping them confident, keeping them playing the way they did on Tuesday, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. Rich, I'll tell you what, I've not got a bloody video of the crowd, but I'm going to play it anyway. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the fans on Tuesday night. Rich obviously wants to talk about it, and how key of a part was they? 12 man. Obviously, the fans will only push the team so far, where the team need to match what the fans' energy that they bring. I think it went hand in hand on Tuesday night. You felt that real connect between the players being pushed on, and the players felt that vibe from the fans, and it helped them push on even further in the game and grow a lot more. How key was the fans on Tuesday night to Leicester's win over Bristol City?
Well, I'd like to feel, and it seemed to be, played a huge part in it. Because as I say, in previous weeks, it's been a very nervous energy inside the ground. You never really knew what way it was going to go. And then when it turned badly, it then became quite hostile and not a very nice atmosphere to sit in, let alone play in. Like I say, I don't like giving players an excuse because they shouldn't use it. They shouldn't use it as an excuse. But still, at the end of the day, it is far easier to play in a ground and a stadium when you feel that you're doing well and you're giving something back. It just gives you that extra spring in your step. It gives you that little bit more determination to go and beat that fullback. I mean, that happened, like I say, with that goal not the goal, but at the end there where he rinsed the two players in the box. Because everybody from where we were sitting, Jack, was screaming at him, go at him, go at him, go at him. And then all of a sudden it just is clicked and he done it. Megged the first one, whipped round the second one. Like I say, a goal would have topped it off.
That's confidence for him, though. That's the Abdul that he should be doing that, not cutting inside all the time. Yeah, take your man on. You've got time.
Getting the goal helps as well.
And that's what we don't do enough of, do we, Dan? We don't get our man enough. And Luke Thomas he whipped in a good ball for Abdul Fattah at the back post, and Abdul was still on the bloody edge of the box, and I'm just like, Abdul, you've got to be there, mate. Go and finish that. That's your ball. Jordan, you ain't getting there, mate. You get there.
Yeah, we have a lot of them easy tap-ins at the back stick for them because they never get picked up. 9 times out of 10 because they're not in the box. They're hanging around for the glory finish on the outside. Once it cut as we expected to, or the players expect it to get headed away. And I understand that to a point, but you've got to read the game better. If you're on the edge of the box, you can certainly make the back stick, that's for sure, especially the pace that boy's got.
Yeah, then you look at the big penalty save from Jakub. That'll give him big confidence going into this weekend as well. Obviously, Asmir Begovic won't go and play his former club, will he, this weekend due to obviously the ankle injury he's still got. But Jakub will build a bit of confidence going into Saturday's game after that big penalty save. It was crucial. You'd see how he expressed his passion at the end. He'd raised his fist to the air, and it meant a lot for him. And a lot of criticism's gone his way this season about how he's not dealt with things a lot, and he's been too soft in goal. But then you look at him on Tuesday night, didn't really have a lot to do, but then when he needed to, when it mattered the most in that penalty save, he saved it.
That's it. Yeah, like you say, he had that little incident with Caleb, didn't he, in the first couple of minutes?
Yeah.
But then after that, like you say, he didn't really have a save to make. One that he tipped over. Can't think of much else. And then obviously there was the penalty incident in the second half. But also just with that, the fact that we didn't then concede the goal from the penalty, you just saw a second lift in them, as if in their minds they thought, yeah, we can do this. We can do this now. No more silly mistakes. Chests were puffed up a bit. Little bit more assurance, little bit more confidence, and then started taking back control of the game. Because at that point, we were a little bit array, we'll call it, and all over the place. So it just galvanised them as a group. And not only because obviously he saved it, he then released Steffi, and we almost went and broke the other end and scored the other end. Probably should have done. A little bit better finishing. So, and like I say, you could just tell from that moment they just grew within themselves. The support obviously was very high and got behind them even more. And like I said, we just continued, and that's what I hope carries on into Saturday, and we don't lose this momentum and waste it. Because like I say, we're causing our own downfall then.
Yeah, you look at QPR, not really been great as of late.
No. And they lost the last 4.
They've lost the last 4 without scoring.
Yeah. Well.
So they've conceded 12 goals in the last 4 games. Yeah, it's not really been appetizing for Queen's Park Rangers. Obviously, they picked up. How many points have they picked up in the last? So picked up 21 points away from home this season in 19 games. So they're averaging just over a point a game.
Yeah.
But their main source of wins for Queen's Park Rangers is home.
Yeah.
Obviously, home is where the heart is. They've scored more goals from open play at 32. Set pieces, they've scored 8. Their top player this season is Madsen. Jimmy Dunn's been good for them as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, they are going to be missing Burrell, but you look at Richard Kone. Kone's one that Leicester looked at in the summer. Never got round to paying what we wanted. Obviously, I think QPR got him for pennies, really.
Yeah. I think it only ended up being about £3.5 million in the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't the 5 that we were originally looking at. It was a lot less than that. Like I say, I'm sure it's about 3.5 million, and that's where at the beginning of the season we're all up in arms and again going at the board by failing to bring in a much needed striker into the squad for, like you say, for pennies really in this day and age.
He scored 7 this season. Richard Kone.
Yeah,
obviously, Burrell's their top scorer who's going to be missing this game. He's got 10. But Kone, I think, would have worked in this Leicester format, to be fair.
Yeah.
It was cheap. Yeah. It was just mad that we didn't bring him in. I don't understand why we've not bothered to go and sign him, because we knew we needed a striker at the time. And if you had to choose between Dakarayu and Kone, your main man's got to be Kone, and Kone gets the number 9 at Leicester. And I don't think you'd have had any questions or even complained about that if the board had gone in and actually signed him.
No, you certainly wouldn't have got any complaints from the fans. That's for sure, because like I say, we were screaming out for it. You know, and yeah, you would like to think that it would have worked out well for us.
Yeah.
And we'd like to think, with the way that we played under Marty and how we were, again, we wouldn't be in the position that we would have been in, because we would have scored a lot more goals. You score a lot more goals, you win a lot more games, you know, going hand in hand with one another. So it just is beggars belief as to why we didn't bring him in. It's not even like he's old either. He's only like 25, 26. So still plenty of football in there. Still an opportunity, if he did do well, to sell him to a Premier League club and get some money back on it. You know, it's just bizarre that we didn't get him in. Well, it just goes to show what a mess that these people have got us in as a club, that we couldn't even afford to do something as small as that in, like I say, in today's day and age of football. And we had to rely on 3 loans only bringing in. So there we go, or 3 loans and a free transfer.
Michael thinks we should have gone for Mikel Antonio. Obviously, Antonio, maybe it would have been a massive risk, I think, after obviously not playing for a year, and then he went to Brentford, didn't he? And that story came out that he got injured the day before he'd actually signed for him, and then they were like, "Well, we can't take that punt on you, Antonio. No. You know, we can't be doing that." And that would have been interesting. But then you look at bloody Leicester. So we didn't take a punt on bloody Mikel Antonio, but then we took a punt on bloody Aaron Ramsey, who was injured for a long time, and then Jamal Lascelles who was injured for a long time. So it's just beggars belief at Leicester, isn't it, that we need to screw our bloody head on at times with these situations and do a lot better, and hopefully bringing this sporting director in, James McCarron, that we can do a lot better in what we seem to be doing a lot less of.
Yeah, that's it. We certainly need to go back to being a lot smarter with our recruitment and how we work stuff again. Because really, we have been again, as I say, massively let down by those that are in charge for what they've done to our football club. They've ran it like Football Manager, I think, at times, and have no clue on how to structure wages. I mean, again, I know we've been over it many a time, but how you can run a wage concept of 115% of what you actually bring into the club is beyond belief, let alone without all the other outgoings that you have with Seagrave and everything that goes on there, because that's not a cheap place to run, as we've found out. So, yeah, it's just mental. And the fact that, again, with these players that do have big injuries and they're coming in, yes, okay, they're coming in on loan, but not having a clause in the contract where if they break down, they get sent back to their parent club. And that's it. We sort of shake hands and say, okay, well, it didn't work. He's not ready. He's clearly not fit enough. He's your player. He's your problem. He's not our problem. Just because he got injured at our place, but it's a recurring injury, especially in the case of Ramsey. Lascelles, it's not really been said what was wrong with him. It was his ankle one week, it was his hamstring another, but yet he's been on the bench. So,
funny you say that, Dan. And we were talking about that in the press conference this week about why Lascelles not been playing. And then he said, I want to pick Lascelles in the team and play him and start him. But he said then the centre backs are up in their game, like Nelson and Akole. So it's like, well, what do? You can't drop players if they've performed the way they did against Bristol City, and you've got to sort of stay with the same format if it's working. You can't change something that it isn't broken, is it? So you've got to keep it.
Yeah, exactly. Because as well, what you don't want to do, especially with Nelson, because obviously he is the younger one. I mean, I say Cole's not exactly old. Is you don't want to destroy their confidence and where they think that they're doing a good job. Regardless of what anybody else thinks. Especially with Akole, with his strength, the size of the bloke. I mean, he's an absolute beast, but Jesus Christ, strong wind blows him over. And so, so it's one of them where, yes, you would love for Lascelles to come in with his experience and know-how of getting through a game and keeping people together, his leadership skills, which he's apparently got. Obviously, we're yet to see it, but Newcastle have only spoke highly of him in regards with things like that, and his maturity, which we do kind of need, especially in the back line. But at the end of the day, the boys that have been there, they've tightened up. They've obviously listened.
Yeah,
and they're doing what Rowett's asking of them, and again, like I say, the one thing you can't do is, after keeping a clean sheet, is drop any of them out and, like I say, destroy their confidence, because they'll be like, well, hang on a minute, we've been smashed to bits for the last God knows how long. These blokes have always been injured. I've had to dig in and do the club one, and now the minute they're back, we've just played well, and you're going to leave me out. So thanks very much. I won't bother anymore then.
He did come out and say, though, that he's not afraid to drop players. See, this is what I like about him. That he's not scared to do what he feels is right for the team. He's not afraid to make them feel uncomfortable in the position. It makes them think that, okay, I need to keep performing here, because if I don't, then he's gonna drop me here. So I have got to keep him on side, because that place is under threat. Every position's under threat with Gary Rowett, and this is what he said, that he wants them to keep him on their toes a lot more.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why it's good to have.
It shows that he's willing to work in different things with them.
Well, this is it. Well,
we're doing the right things.
Yeah, that's why it's good to have all these players come back, and and to strengthen that squad for this last running of 10 games. So we've always had a decent squad, but
Yeah.
we've not really had the depth to it because there's always been 3, 4, 5, 6 players injured of main characters that we need playing, and then let's sort of say we've then had to bring in the likes of Louis Page, Aluko, Monga to an extent, probably a little bit earlier than what the club probably wanted to. Again, we do need to remember these youngsters that are coming through, they are young boys still. They're only, 16, 17, 18. Really, you don't tend to get to a first team level unless you are exceptional. Exceptional is when you're more like Nelson's age at 21. You've matured that little bit more. You have a bit more gameplay about you. I say that you at that Premier League Youth League, it's more about how you play and patterns of play than what it is actual, physicality in it. There's not really any physicality in it. So it is a big shock to them. And you can see sometimes where they're a little bit lightweight. They're going to be excellent for us in the future, and if we go down, I don't believe we will now. If we go down, then you're going to start bringing them in, because then you're relying on them to then start building those blocks to getting us where we want to be for the next coming. But now, hopefully, with having strong players back, climbing the league, getting ourselves into a comfortable position, staying in this league, we can then gradually feed them in, and it's not such a big culture shock to them.
Well, this where West Brom fans were moaning. They said, bloody, we're losing all our best players to injury, and Leicester are getting them back. He said, makes it bloody hard on us here. So Leicester have just got to keep bettering results than teams who are around up, your Blackburns, your Portsmouths. I know you say a lot about West Brom, Oxford. We've got to keep betting the results and focusing on number one, which is us, and keeping us out of that relegation zone. So what's your thoughts on QPR? Not really. I think they've only won 3 times in the league since they beat Leicester 4-1, since they bullied us that day. Not really been picking up the results, but they're not scoring. They've not scored in the last 4. I don't think they've kept a clean sheet in 6. They're a side who are. I just don't know what you want to expect from them, to be fair. Ronnie obviously says about where's Ronnie's comment? Ronnie says about bullying us. They bullied us at their place, and hopefully not so good away. So Ronnie talks about Queen's Park Rangers, that we can't be bullied by them this time. Obviously, it's a different manager in it. Guy Rowett's not Cifuentes. I think with Cifuentes, the players at QPR knew how Marty played, and they knew how to dictate him as a manager, to know those strengths and the weaknesses that obviously they'd learnt from him. So they used that to their own advantage. But Guy Rowett's a completely different manager, so I think it'll be a whole more different game than what they're expecting. So what has been your thoughts on QPR? Obviously, Jimmy Dunn's been their best defender this season. He seems to be really good. He was good under Marty Cifuentes for QPR. They've got quite a few good players, but they're also missing quite a few as well, which is key to Burrell, Dembele, and that. So there seems to be, I'd say, a bit weaker this time. But then, what do you think about QPR this season, Dan?
My thoughts on QPR are they blow hot and cold. They'll have a spell where they'll surprise you, and that's the difference between when we played them last to when we're playing them this time. Is they were in a good run of form. They were doing well. They were scoring goals. They were up and around, very close to the playoffs. I think they might have even been in the bottom spot of the playoffs at that point. I know, but they were in a good run of form. But then they'll have like this spell where they go in a terrible run, can't buy a win, can't score a goal, only sliding downwards. The bottom group is now catching them up. Like I say, we'll be within 6 points of them, providing we beat them Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's a team that we're then reeling in, so they'll start getting a little bit nervy. But that's what QPR do, even under Marty. They went from being bottom of the league and in a world of trouble. He comes in, drags them out, moves them on, gets them to about mid-table, and then they had a spell where they dropped all, and they were like, "Oh my God, we might actually get relegated." Yeah, they then went on a run. The last few, I think they won the last 3 games to pull themselves clear, and that's quite, like I say, that's kind of where they are. They just, like I say, have these little spells. Hopefully, again, they don't come to us with confidence and of how they played against us last time.
Yeah.
Yes, we're a completely different team. Yes, we are a lot more solid at the back there, where we were completely fragile. That they, at their place, they had a game plan. That was single out Luke Thomas, smash as many balls in the box,
and we didn't deal with it.
And because exactly that, because we know they can't deal with that. They're no good at that. So that's what we'll do. Now we are a lot better at that. We're a little bit firmer, a little bit stronger, we're a little bit more resolute. So they might have to come up with something different. It'll work one of 2 ways. They'll either try it again and hopefully not come up with anything, and then they'll be disappointed and go, "Fuck, what do we do now then?" That's that game plan gone.
Yeah.
And we'll bring ourselves back into the game. I'd like to hope, as I keep saying, the confidence from Tuesday, we'll get the ball and we'll go and attack and we'll go and put them on the back foot. That's the next step for us now. We've had the draws. Now we've got the win. Now we need to bring the play in and putting sides on the back foot and showing our quality and the reasons why we are the Premier League side that came down and not, as we're being at the minute, more like the League One side that came up. That's where we, like I say, that's where we now need to head towards between now and the end of the season.
That's the big worry with Leicester, though, isn't it, Dan? With Leicester is the case that we sort of get in a good space. You look at our last results: Middlesbrough away, draw; Ipswich away, draw. We picked up some big points, and there are some massive points when you go and beat Bristol City as well. So to get 5 points out of the last 4 games, and Norwich obviously a good run of form, they absolutely wiped the floor with us. But then you go to the promotion hopefuls in Middlesbrough and Ipswich, and you go and get some points there, and you're not expecting anything out of the games. It shows under Gary Rowett that they're, I'd say, learning a lot more. They're feeding into what he's now looking to stamp his authority on with his team, the way he wants to play. It's defence first, attack second. But then against Bristol City, it was attack first, defence second. So Gary Rowett's a bit unpredictable. You don't know what sort of game plan he's got up his sleeve. He doesn't seem like a bloke who's got one game plan for this.
You can't have one game plan. That's the thing. In football these days, you can't have one game plan. Yeah, okay, you can have a game plan to start, where you, like I say, you go and take the game to your opposition, especially when you're at home, and then you revise it as the 90 minutes or 90 plus minutes go on. But they'll if the lads are coached correctly and their meetings are well put through and they understand, then they'll know how to go about it. And if things aren't going as they want it to, they know how to adjust and push through again, and correct it and put it right. But it's on us now at the end of the day, Jack. It's on us.
These are the games you've got to win, though. If you look at our next 4, what we got: QPR, Watford, Preston, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, and then Swansea.
I mean, you probably take 11 points maybe at the next 5, if I'm honest. It's tricky. it is to sort of work it out how you want to sort of develop. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, we should be winning that, but then it's no given right to go and win any game in this league, which we've shown this season.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely not.
But it's down to these players to. I think with Guy Rowett, he's just got to take it game by game and take it stride by stride. Eli, welcome.
Hi, mate.
How we doing?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Eli, we're just talking about Leicester and QPR. Obviously, we're talking about Guy Rowett and that, how he sort of produces his team for this game. It's not been the same sort of way we've been hoping. So every game it's been a bit different to others. Against Middlesbrough, it was defensive, then attack, and then you look at Bristol City, it was attack, then defence. And then what's your thoughts on how you think we're going to be going into this game after Tuesday with? And then what's also your thoughts on QPR as well going into this game?
What do you think they're going to go? You know, they've got the momentum in their favour at the moment, haven't they, after a good performance. So I think we're probably going to go for the attack. They've lost 4 on the bounce. I don't think they've scored in 4 games either. They took 2 absolute beatings, haven't they? So I think they're going to be under the cosh. The pressure's probably on them. I think what I'm seeing at the moment is the fact that under Marty, call it Marty ball, whatever we want to call it, but it was the same thing every single week. And what we're seeing here is a little bit of variety. So I think they'll probably go out. They'll get the crowd behind them early. I think that'll be a key thing that Gary Rowett will say to him in the dressing room is get the crowd behind you early, get the noise and the atmosphere in the stadium, because that's going to play a big part tomorrow.
Yeah. Dan, what's your thoughts? How do you think we need to sort of go about tomorrow's game against Queen's Park Rangers? Because no game's easy, but then it's how difficult we make it on ourselves. But it's a game that these boys fully know that it's a must-win game, and the only thing we need to go for tomorrow is the 3 points.
Yeah, exactly that, Jack. Like I say, as I said earlier, we need to continue this momentum and the enthusiasm that was there at the end with the supporters, and keep pressing on. We're not in a position where we can pick and choose games as to where we pick points up from. We've just got to go out there and win and pick up as many points as we can between now and the end of the season over these next 10 games. We've got ourselves into a bit of a mess, and these boys now have got to dig themselves out of it. The last, 5-6 games, they've done well, other than the Norwich game. They've done well. They've got points on the board. They've not been quite enough points, but they've been points. And it's been a steady progression upwards as opposed to downwards. So it's carrying this momentum on. Build it, like I say, keep building these stepping blocks up. Keep going, getting these results. Keep building that confidence. Keep feeling, assured within how you're playing. Listening to what the gaffer's telling them, making sure they're not making silly mistakes like they have done in the past, and it's all about them. They're the only ones who can do it. But I expect us to go out, take the game to QPR, and attack them from minute 1, and go and get ourselves a good result again. Yeah.
Eli. That's what's needed for this team, isn't it? Obviously, it's a confidence booster to Bristol City, but then it's about going into tomorrow's game with that confidence and just building on that result going forward.
I think we've got to a stage of the season now where we have to start being consistent, and I think we've got a nice spell of games coming. I say on paper, a nice spell of games coming up. We got obviously Preston coming up, Watford coming up, obviously Wednesday coming up. Blackburn, Portsmouth. We still got a lot of sort of what I would class as bottom half teams to play. I think we got Swansea to play as well.
Yeah,
I think
Swansea at home.
I think we got 6 out of 9 home games coming up as well.
Yeah.
I think what I'm liking at the moment is it feels like we're not as predictable as what we were. And, it was very easy. Hit the diagonal, cause problems for the fullback, and you're going to score a goal. And it feels like we've got a bit more solid at the back, and that's what's going to come when you've got two defenders in the coaching team now. It's. But I think the sense of consistency is what we're really looking for now, and that's what's going to get you the results, get us the points, get us points on because I think you need 50 points to stay up. Personally.
Minimum. I think it's gonna, like I say, I think it might be just little bit more this time. But just with that as well, our four away games is Watford, not in the greatest of form. So you'd like to think you can pick something up there, and then the other three is obviously Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth, and Blackburn. Now, you don't want to take it as read that you'll get 3 points at Sheffield Wednesday, but again, you would like to be thinking you'd be picking something up, and then the other two will be brutal because both teams that are in the same position as us and going to be scrapping for points. It's unfortunate that they're away, but hey, I still feel that they are sides that we should be beating regardless.
Yeah, 50 points. I know last time when they went down in 07-08 season, it was 52 points Leicester ended up on. I think he needed a bit more than 52, so less bloody OP.
But that's it. But it doesn't happen very often. It's like Birmingham went down with 51 points or something like that. But, I over a spell of how long the league's been going for it to happen on a handful of moments, it's not like it's something that happens we're just probably beating the teams around us, isn't that?
I think if I'm remembering rightly, Jack, I've just literally kind of figuring it out in my head. So we got Watford, Sheffield Wednesday, Blackburn, Portsmouth away. If I'm right, I think we got Hull, Millwall, Preston, QPR, Swansea at home. So there are 9 remaining games. Outside of Hull and Millwall that are in the playoff positions, who I'd much prefer to have at home, if I'm honest. Like, they are all teams out of form. Maybe with the exception of Swansea, obviously they're a bit.
But that's only their home form. Their away form is terrible.
Yeah, and they're one. To be honest, like they're one injury away from collapse anyway. With like Vipotnik gets injured.
Swansea's poor away from. They've conceded against Wrexham, just as you spoke, Dan.
There we are.
Nathan Broadhead scored 1-0 Wrexham.
Yeah.
But like you look at those games, you just think actually every single one of them, even Hull and Millwall, the pressure's going to be on them.
They're tough games, aren't they?
They're tough games. So if you
take a point out of both of them,
look at that and you go, we got 7 games there that are
winnable.
Very, very winnable games
on
paper.
Absolutely.
So and you get 21 points from those 7 and you're staying up. Simple as that. It's
should be home.
But I think we need 5 or 6 wins.
I'd say so.
I
agree. That's what I said to Dan about we're going to look after number 1. We just got better West Brom's results, Oxford's, Blackburn's, Portsmouth. Make it tough for them, that if we win, it puts the pressure on them because the majority of this season, the pressure's been on Leicester. It's always been on us. And then Blackburn and Portsmouth are about 4 points away from Leicester at one point. Just like, they're just going to stay up, aren't they? It's just going to be out of West Brom, Leicester, and Oxford.
And then, boom, they're back in it.
That changes.
Well,
you just need a couple of good results.
That's it. Well, like I was saying before, Eli, just before you came on, that, providing we beat QPR on Saturday, they're only 6 points above us. So they can soon be sucked back in the run of form that they're on at this moment in time.
Yeah. Just trying to have a look at the league table quickly, to be honest. Have a little look at that.
And still the same.
Because even Stoke, Norwich, Preston, 48, 49 points, you think that'll be enough to keep you up, to be honest.
Absolutely.
But if Bristol City wouldn't have had the start they had this season, they'd be in right trouble.
They'd be in a lot of trouble,
If you look at last season, Hull finished on 49 points, 21st. Luton were on 49 points, Preston were on 50, Derby were on 50, and Stoke were on 51. Oxford finished on 53 points.
Wow.
It's one of them, isn't it, where they've just got to win the games, Leicester. I mean, home's going to be key for Leicester with the games that we've got. We just need to win games and then pick up 1 point each out of Hull and Millwall. And like I say, you go into games a bit more confident, and if we can pick up the points before the Millwall and Hull games, then we can probably look at ourselves in a bit more better stead and think, you know what, if we get a point out of it, it's not going to be so bad against Hull and Millwall. So
when does the Hull game?
Let's have a look at footing both. The end of April, midweek.
So, it's a
midweek game.
Providing things go well and without being too overconfident, we could be in some good form ourselves.
Yeah.
Hull are one of those teams that can, they can either turn up and hurt you, or they can roll over and
turn you over.
You get a decent result out of it. They're not a side that I'd fear playing. Millwall, on the other hand, they're a horrible side to play, and that's what's showing for them this season, and that's why they are where they are.
Yeah, they're a good side.
Yeah,
Millwall
but that's where we were in poor form.
That's where we'd want to be, obviously. That's where we thought we'd want to be this season in the playoffs, competing, but we're at the other end of the table, competing for bloody relegation and not bloody championship, bloody promotion.
It would be interesting to see the run-ins for Oxford, West Brom, and us, and Blackburn, Portsmouth. Just see, because I think on paper, I don't think there'll be teams that have got run-ins like us. We haven't got a top half team to play, with the exception of Hull and Millwall. Yeah. But they could easily, they're going to be under a lot of pressure themselves, so they could buckle.
Blackburn have got Millwall, Middlesbrough, Birmingham, West Brom, Stoke, Coventry, Sheffield United, Southampton, Leicester.
Tough games.
Yeah.
They're very tough games. Let's have a look at Oxford.
I mean, Blackburn, you said, have got 3 of the top 4 there.
Yeah.
Then plus us.
Yeah.
And then plus
they've still got to play West Brom, haven't they, as well?
I was going to say plus, the 6, what will be classed as 6-pointer games against West Brom.
Yeah, the big games.
That's not an easy run.
Oxford, they've got Charlton, Southampton, Hull, Portsmouth, Watford, Derby, Wrexham, Sheffield Wednesday, Millwall. So they're getting their points. We'll probably look at maybe getting them against Sheffield Wednesday, Portsmouth, and Charlton. But then how you say that? But Charlton are in decent form. They could surprise quite a few teams.
Yeah.
Who else have we got? Is it? What did you want to look at? Is it West Brom or Pompey? Where are we? West Brom.
West Brom.
You want West Broms. You want West Broms and Portsmouth.
West Brom. So they've got Hull, Bristol City, Wrexham, Blackburn, Millwall, Preston, Watford, Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday.
That's not that bad a run-in, is it?
No.
Oxford and Leicester. Oxford, Leicester, and West Brom have got the better run-in out of Blackburn at the minute. But if you look at Portsmouth's next run-in, they've got Derby, QPR, Norwich, Oxford, Middlesbrough, Ipswich, Leicester, Coventry, Stoke, Birmingham. Blackburn's got the oddest running out of the lot, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, they could very easily see if Oxford keep on the form they're in, which is pretty decent form, to be honest. West Brom start picking points up under James Morrison. I'll tell you what, mate, Portsmouth and Blackburn could be in real trouble.
Yeah.
But it puts even pressure on the other teams, though, doesn't it? Above them, if they're not.
Exactly. Like I said, QPR could potentially be looking over their shoulder.
Stoke ain't in the greatest of form either.
No, but I did notice that. What is it? Four of us have all got Millwall, so Millwall could be a very vital decider in who goes down.
Millwall will be looking at that, won't they, and thinking we've got a chance here to get
Hull as well. Hull,
yeah.
Hull have got West Brom, Leicester, and Porter.
Yeah, but I without sounding funny about it, us and West Brom will cause the likes of Hull and Millwall more trouble than the others.
Yeah.
Because, like what I've said to you many a time, Jack, with us, when it comes to bigger sides, we turn up. because we don't want to get a shoe-in, and I'm sure West Brom will be the same. Hence, how they nearly beat Southampton the other night. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know, my argument falls down a little bit because of the position that we're in, but look at the results that we've got against those top 6 sides. You know, we only just lost over 2 games to Coventry. You know, we've drawn twice. We've drawn twice with Middlesbrough and beat Ipswich and drawn. Okay, yeah. Hull and Millwall, we've lost the 1 game, but we're at home next, so we've got the opportunity to turn that round. You know, all the others are a little bit iffy.
Drew against Wrexham.
Yeah, drew twice against Wrexham. Yeah, well, Wrexham I treat as a little bit of an anomaly.
Teams are higher up at the table. We seem to do better against them. Teams who are at the bloody bottom of the foot of the table.
Yeah.
We seem to be difficult on ourselves. Let's have a look at a few of the foot in both camps. I'll take a very quick one with this. Paul Konchesky. Good left back for Leicester, 2011 to 2016, including the Premier League title winning era. I think he went out on loan in that one. And then he went on loan to QPR during that period, where he made 34 appearances. John Curtis, I mean, he was crap for Leicester. Played for QPR. Alex Smithies didn't really do much at Leicester, to be honest.
He played, did he?
No, Andy Impey, fullback. Andy Impey come to Leicester in the Premier League stint, but then made about 170 appearances for QPR over the 1990s. Danny Simpson, Premier League winner with Leicester, joined us in 2014. He was part of the Great Escape season and, of course, the Premier League title winning season. And obviously, Les Ferdinand.
Yep,
so,
and Begovic. Obviously,
Asmir Begovic is one of them as well, who's played for both clubs, and Marty Cifuentes is in there as well for anyone who wants to put a match.
Do you know the funniest thing about Cifuentes is that his record with us, I don't think it was even as bad as what it was at QPR.
Oh wow!
Frank McClintock, there we go, an older head for the older generation of Leicester fans. Right, I tell you what we'll do now. We'll go through the team. Obviously, people have spoke about the team itself. So we had Stolarczyk, Hamza, Akoli, Nelson, Thomas, Skip, James, Fatawu, Reed, Mavadidi, and Ayew. How many changes would you make for QPR? I'd make 4.
I'd be 3.
I'll go 4. Eli?
I would go 3. I would go 3.
Right, I'll tell you what then. We'll let Dan go first with his 3, and then I'm sure you and Dan might go with the same conclusion, actually. But anyway, we'll see what you've got. Go on.
I'd say Ricky for Hamza.
Yep.
Daka for Ayew, and Makasa for Bobby.
Yeah, I've got them 3 in there. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other one I potentially would have done was Lascelles in for Akoli. Perhaps. Yeah. Because I think there's a lot of pressure, isn't there? There's a lot of noise around Lascelles, obviously, in the press at the moment about why he's not playing. And I think as well, if we want to keep an experienced head next season, if we do stay up, he's a sort of player you want around the dressing room. At some point, you've got to start giving him minutes.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. But those 3 were the same as what I went, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Hamza for Ricardo, Ayew for Daka, Daka for Ayew, and then Makasa for Reed. I think then you sort of look at Oliver Skip now, though, and you think, where does Harry Winks fit back in? But then obviously, because Jordan James is fit, it's that midfield headache that he's got now going forward. But Skip's obviously ran a lot in these last few games, and he's put a lot of work in. Someone mentioned earlier putting Winks and James in for QPR, but I think, to be honest, I don't see why we should take Oliver Skip out. I think Jordan James and Oliver Skip, they suit each other's style quite well. So I don't think I'd change the midfield too. It's just the striker, the cam, and the right back position for me. I think Nelson are they're gonna start, aren't they, together?
Yeah,
But that builds on
like what we said. Yeah, like what we said, Jack. They've just got the first clean sheet as a group.
Yeah.
Right, yes, minus Ricky, but still, essentially, they've been getting stronger over the games that have been had, and they're just starting to get that little bit of form, shape, knowing where each other needs the other one to be. Why would you break that up? I get it with Lascelles, but my question would still be, is he actually fit enough? We don't really know. And it's not something that we need to do. In regards with Skip, if he says he's fit enough and well enough to play, at the minute, he's first name on the team sheet for me. Can
you believe we're saying that, though? Like, after the noise at the start of the season and halfway through the season, fact that we're saying that, I think that just absolute testament to
he's been a surprise package, hasn't he? And who would have expected that at the start of the season? I think we all wanted him. Well, a lot of Leicester fans didn't want him in the team at all. They're just like, well, this guy's not good enough. And then you got Norwich fans vocaling that he's a top championship midfielder.
Yeah, well, look at the beginning of the season. We're all making jokes, and was it you? Am I off?
Dan's got his boxes in the back as we speak, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it.
Just help him looking move out.
What was he saying?
Go on.
About Skip.
Yeah.
Was it you that lost the bet, Jack, that had to get Skip on the back of his shirt? Or was it Steve? I know Steve had.
Basically.
But now it's paying off, isn't it?
I set up a like thing where I'd get they called it one of the worst players at the club on the football shirt.
Yeah.
And I had to buy a shirt with the thing on it. And then it's supposed to have been Patson Daka, I think it was at one point. It's supposed to have been Daka, but then someone said, Jack, you've got to make it fair here, so we'll choose 4 players for you. Yeah. And whoever gets the biggest vote, that's who you've got to have on the shirt. So I was like, okay, that's then. It. Oliver Skip came out, and since that point onwards, when I brought that shirt, it seems to have been a good omen for Oliver Skip. So, Skippy, if you're watching, you can thank me later on that one, mate. That 65 quid paid off from what the price they were giving me to buy it at the start of the season, mate. They weren't going to give me 65p for it, but anyway, we were on for 650 quid now, mate. Everyone wants a piece of it, so
exactly. That's what I mean. So that's where he's come. So,
and then he didn't want to wear it.
Exactly, because it had Skip on the back. It was a joke character.
It's a testament now, Dan. It's a testament. Where
he's turned around and
might even put it on tomorrow, mate.
Why not?
The funny thing is, Jack, the first time obviously me and you met, you had that Skip shirt on, mate.
Bristol City away.
Yeah.
And we drew to.
So I think just thinking about that lineup for a moment, I think Skip and James really sort of complement each other well, because I think Skip's sort of defensive, very defensive minded, but he's actually also in the last few games started pressing a lot more, and he'll step forward. But I don't know if you noticed in the Bristol City game, he won the ball and then he sort of break away from the sort of the holding midfielder, and then he'd be the one engaging in the attack. And I think the fact that he's you know what you're going to get with him, you know where he's going to be. He's going to be on every blade of grass. That actually frees up Jordan James to be able to be more attacking. And I worry with Harry Winks that, and I'm not, I think Winks, he's been brilliant in the last sort of 6 games since Rat's been here, but he does have a habit of slowing the game down and not pressing as much as what you want. And that's when you sort of invite a little bit of pressure. I thought he's a perfect player to come on when you've got a tiring midfield and you want him to see the game out and pass it around and things like that. So I definitely think Skip and James are the ones we need to be just sticking as for solid, because that could be next season's midfield for us. So
I hope so.
When we start building that Barcelona team next season and Skip and James midfielders, Iniesta and Xavi, that's start talking. I think that's me getting too carried away. Anyway, I want to ask you 2 questions, actually. I want to ask you about these 2. Where does Vestergaard fit back in, and where does Harry Souttar fit back in? I think they've just started training back. There they are, the 2 6'6". Where do them two fit back in, Eli? I know Leicester are going to have a massive headache. I said to Dan about Lascelles that Coley and Nelson seem to up their game a lot more when Guy Rowett's got the eye of putting Lascelles in.
Yeah.
Where does Suter and Vestergaard fit right back in this team? I mean, surely it's a difficult job now.
Up front.
Get after the international break.
Yeah, up front, mate. That's where they go. I think Vestergaard scored more goals from up front than Daka, I think.
Should we put them up front together?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, like,
I'll win a few headers.
I think having strength in depth is something we haven't been able to talk about for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Certainly since I can remember. And I think, you know, if you've got Nelson, Akoli, Vestergaard, let's be honest, I don't think Sutar will play this season. That's a really serious injury that he's had. And I generally think there'll be teams sniffing around Ben Nelson at the end of the season, if I'm honest. You know, he's just got better and better in the last couple of months. You know, the Sky commentators were just completely bigging him up on the last few games. They're raving about him, that he's got such a big future. I think on the Bristol City game, they actually said that he's a future England international. So I think we've got a lot of good young players, but also, you know, Vestergaard's just good with the experience, isn't he? He plays the ball well at the feet. His passing ability is probably the best of all the defenders.
Big 40-yard out. 40-yard.
I just don't know where. I just don't know where he fits in now, to be honest.
We always wanted to get Nelson and Coley though in pre-season. I know there were a lot of raving about it, wasn't it? That we wanted to see how them two would fare. That Marty, that's where he's got to go with it. But then you're starting to see a bit more that when there seems to be a bit more confidence between them both, they seem a lot more connected. And against Bristol City, the more reliant they are together, and the manager's picking them, the confidence is going to be even more inspiring, and it will keep that defence a lot more solid. And I don't think you can change it. I mean, Vestergaard, I would go on and say that he is our better centre back out of what we've got. But it's going to be difficult for him to get right back in there if Caleb Akoli and Ben Nelson are just going to keep doing what they're doing like they did against Bristol City.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite agree with you there, Jack, with Vestergaard being our best defender. He's our best one on the ball and our best passer, but his ability to defend is awful.
I just feel like he's too. I just feel like he's just too slow for what we need in the way we play, which is now very pressing and counter-attacking.
He's a lot more composed.
Yeah, he's definitely more composed than any of these.
That's what I mean. He's not the biggest runner, but I think he defends a lot more. He's got a lot more composure about him, and he can pick out a pass a lot more.
Yeah, but that's not what Rowett wants as a back four. You know,
he's not worked with Vestergaard yet, has he?
No, and I don't think he will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No.
But also, the passing from the back, the passing from the back is the thing that we're not doing now. We're getting the ball and we're playing it down the wings. We're whipping the balls around for Tau, for Mavididi. We're drilling the ball into the number 10. Hopefully the number 9 if Daka's up there and not Ayew. But I think
Ramsey's back after the international break, Terry. He'll be back after the international break, Aaron Ramsey.
Where does he fit in?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Macasser's coming now as well, so it's just like, where does everybody else fit in his team?
Well, both Macasser and Bobby are streets ahead of him at the moment. You know, if when he comes in, you don't know how long he's going to last. So he's become unreliable to us. So
that's been his problem, isn't it? He's had a bit of a shit time, to be fair. Red card, and then he got injured. Then he come back, had a great stint against. Did he score against Pompey? Was it Pompey he scored against? And then he and then he got injured again. And then it's just like, oh, for God's sake, like, we're seeing what you can do in glimpses, and then you're just not there again. He's not the same player. And then you get injured again. Then you're out for a long time, and it's just not good.
No, absolutely.
He's got the quality. He's one of them players that are always getting injured all the time.
I think the problem is you don't want to be tinkering and changing too much because you want to solidify this defensive unit that have obviously gone and got a great result.
Not building.
I think Pereira, Hamza, I kind of get the swap and the fitness side of it for Pereira. but the rest of them are young players. They should be able to play 90 minutes every couple of days. As a professional footballer, you should be able to do that. I just don't, you don't want to be slipping into this. Oh, well, if you think back earlier in the season, it was like, Wout Fast coming in for a game, going out for a game, different back threes. You had Ben Nelson swinging in at left back for some reason. All these sort of things where you can't actually build a level of consistency. You start trying to work with players playing with each other regularly. I get that they do it in training, but you don't want to be.
It's not the same.
Training is very different to match days.
Right then, the last question for you both. Score prediction versus QPR. See, me and Dan will be sitting together again tomorrow, so maybe that might be a good omen that we can do against Bristol City, Dan.
If it works, does that mean I've got to come and sit next to you every home game we've got left?
You can do what you like, mate. You can hold my hand if you want. Anyway, we might be not split at the hips, Dan. You know what I'm saying? Might be stuck together for a bit. Anyway, score prediction then, Dan, for tomorrow's game.
I'm going for a confident 3-0.
Oh. Goal scorers?
Abdul and Patson Daka.
Oh, okay. Eli?
One of them will get 2. Don't know which one, but one of them will.
I am going for a solid Leicester 2-0 victory. I think we're going to get 2 clean sheets in a row.
Okay.
I think Fatahu's going to score, and I think Jordan James is going to get himself on the score sheet again.
So if we get a double clean sheet, then does the air come off this time, off the top?
Do you know what? Shannon said that to me in the car.
Yeah.
I said absolutely not.
You've got to do it.
No, mate, don't peer pressure me into that.
That's it.
I'll do it this time. I'll make sure it comes off.
Shave the head off, grow the beard.
stick the hair on the beard. Anyway, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Leicester win. I'm going to go for the back-to-back 2-0 win for the Foxes. Goal scorers, Jordan James, and I'll tell you what, I'll go for an outside shout of Luke Thomas to score. Nice. Yeah, they're my goal scorers. 7-0 Leicester. Bloody hell. Does that mean QPR are going to get 5 red cards? 3-1 Leicester, not asking for 2 clean sheets in a row. I'm only slightly crazy. Ray, you're as crazy as you want to feel, mate. Anyway.
I'll tell you what I've noticed, Jack, is the fan base. It's completely changed, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like
it's that mentality, isn't it? We've gone from, for God's sake, not this again, and then we're just now a bit like we've won the lottery a bit. It's like, what do we spend this money on?
It was the way they played and what they gave us, for the first time in a long, long time.
Yeah. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go and hit the like. Target is 50 tonight, so if you can do that, fantastic. Go and check out the championship predictions with me, Steve, and Rich. I think we all predicted Wrexham to win tonight, so they're obviously winning at the minute 1-0. So we need about 2 more goals each in that game, 1 for either side. And that is it from us. Match day vlog out tomorrow. I'll be seeing Dan down the stadium. I'm sure Eli will send me a prediction video somewhere along the line, so you'll see him in the vlog somewhere without a beard. If you've not seen it already, then you'll see him without. And maybe he'll shave that hair off if Leicester keep a double clean sheet. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll catch you soon.